Hi, Dr. Williams. This is Dr. Stastny. Just giving you a rundown of our patient last night. We had an appendectomy. The patient was a female 12-year-old who came in last night with sharp pains in the abdomen, cold sweats. She hadn't been hungry. She was very nauseated and constipated. Her vital signs were pretty normal. She had a 99.8 degrees Fahrenheit temperature, but we know like sometimes with people with appendicitis could have a higher temperature, but still relatively normal. Her pulse was 56, her blood pressure was 132/80. She was medium build, 5'5", with 126 pounds. When she came in, she did look a little flushed and she wasn't able to stand upright for very long. She was very slow movement and seemed to be sweating more than usual. Her heart sounds had a slight bradycardia. It was pretty slow. Her lungs was a tapnea at a slow rate, and she had severe abdominal pain, and it was really tough for the patient to stand completely upright for, like I said, for longer than usual. Even walking from the waiting room into the room that we were, the examination room, she had a tough time doing that. The patient was showing signs of appendicitis, and the appendix didn't seem to be ruptured. She had severe pain, but she wasn't, terribly ill like we would see if it was a ruptured appendix. The exams that we did was an endoscopy of the endometriosis, and we found that that she did have appendicitis. It was a peritonitis, not a ruptured appendix, just a blockage of dead cells in the appendix, and it was infected. My diagnosis at first was, I assumed that's what it was, but after all the exams, I went ahead and diagnosed with acute appendicitis, and we did a laparotomy, appendectomy. So we went in endoscopic, we did a laparoscopic appendectomy, and we just made 4 incisions in the wall of the abdomen, and they were approximately about 1 inch in length each. One in the umbilicus region, one in the below the umbilicus region, one above the pelvic, and 2 smaller ones on the right of the abdomen region. And then we went ahead and made sure that it was appendicitis with the camera, and inserted surgical instruments through the incisions, and then removed it from the cecum. And once that was cut, then we stitched up the cecum, and the appendix was pulled through the incisions. Once the instruments and the camera were all pulled through, we stitched the incisions closed. For post-op recovery, the patient can resume physical activity as soon as 1 week, and the first couple meals should be on the lighter side, what the patient could tolerate, and then after those she can decide if she is able to tolerate like more solid, heavier foods. The only risk that we would have for this patient, which isn't likely because she is young, she's 12 years old, so she could bounce back a little faster than someone that was 58. We have pneumonia, adhesions, which could lead to a hernia or an abscess, and we just want to keep a close eye on that. So we'll have the patient back in 2 weeks just to examine her again. And that was all that went down last night.